Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Stinkin Sports. I'm your host, Nicholas Stinkin, and today we're going to be going over the playoff scenarios in play during Week 17 of this 2020 NFL season. The final week of the season has gone by so fast. There's been so many memorable moments, games, and I'm really excited to see who gets in. I'm excited to watch the important games tomorrow. And there's a lot in play. Let's start with the AFC, where things are as tight as ever. There are 5 teams fighting to get into the playoffs. None of the 5 have clinched. The home field advantage has been clinched in the AFC, though, so that is not in play tomorrow. The Chiefs clinched that last weekend. However, there are 5 teams fighting for a playoff spot. Those 5 teams being the Titans, the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Colts, and the Browns. Now, let's go over each team's individual scenario on how they get in. The Titans can win the AFC South. They can win the division on Sunday with a win or a Colts loss. If they happen to lose and the Colts happen to win, to clinch a playoff berth, they would need a loss from the Ravens or Dolphins to clinch a playoff berth. The Browns need to win, or they need any of the other teams, that being the Ravens, Titans, Browns, or Colts, to lose, and they are in. The Colts clinch the AFC South if they win and a Titans loss. They clinch a berth if they win and any of the other teams listed lose or tie. The Ravens will clinch a berth with a win or a Browns or Colts loss. And the Dolphins will clinch a playoff berth if they win or Colts loss or Ravens loss or Browns loss. Now, that is all that we have. Now let's go towards the games and what I think will exactly happen. I think the team that will miss out is going to be the Miami Dolphins. They play the Bills, who technically need to win a game on Sunday to clinch the number 2 seed in the AFC. They will be without Ryan Fitzpatrick, who has been placed on the COVID-19 reserve list on Sunday, and I personally don't have the faith in Tua right now to see him going into Buffalo and getting a win on the road to clinch a playoff berth against a ferocious Buffalo team right now that is playing better than ever. So I think the Dolphins are going to miss out. I think the Colts get in because of a win against the worst team in the NFL right now, the Jaguars, and the Dolphins loss, obviously. The Browns get in because of the fact that they are playing the Steelers team that will be led by Mason Rudolph. And Mason Rudolph is probably the worst backup quarterback, arguably, in the NFL. So I'm going to take the Browns 10 out of 10 times, and they're getting their offensive wide receiver weapons back. So I would gladly take the Browns on Sunday. And then the Ravens, I think, get in due to a win against the Bengals, and the Titans clinch the AFC South due to a win against Houston. Now, that is what I have for the AFC. So in order of the seeds, I would have the Chiefs, number 1, getting the bye in the first week. Number 2 being the Bills. Number 3 being the Steelers, and number 4 being the Titans, and then followed in the wild card slots would be the Colts, the Ravens, and the Browns. Going on to the NFC, there aren't as many scenarios, obviously, in the NFC right now. I can go over them right now. There are actually home field advantages still in play, though. Seattle clinches home field advantage on Sunday with a win and Packers loss and a Saints loss and tie. The Packers clinch home field advantage with a straight-up win or Seattle loss, and the Saints clinch home field advantage with a win and a Green Bay loss and a Seattle win. The Rams, so that would be home field advantage. The Rams would clinch a playoff berth with a win or a Bears loss. The Cardinals clinch a playoff berth with a win or tie and a Bears loss. They need the Bears loss to get in. Washington clinches the NFC East with a win. The Rams clinch with a win or Bears loss. The Bears clinch with a win or Cardinals loss. Dallas clinches the NFC East with a win and a Washington loss. And the Giants clinch the NFC East with a win and Washington loss. Now here's what I think will happen in the NFC on Sunday. I think that the Packers are going to clinch home field advantage with a win against the Browns, leaving the door open for the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals beat the Rams on Sunday due to the fact that they're led by quarterback John Wolford instead of Jared Goff due to Jared Goff's fractured thumb on his throwing hand. John Wolford, who last started a game for the Arizona Hotshots of the AAF and is a financial advisor on the side, I don't see him getting the job done against Kyler Murray in an NFL game, in a game that really, that matters to them. They need to win to get in, but technically I think the Bears will lose, so they'll get in anyways. But mathematically they're going in there with the win, we need to win mentality. I don't see him getting the job done, so I'm going to have the Cardinals clinching as well. The Rams will clinch due to a Bears loss. And on Sunday Night Football, the Washington football team is going to clinch against the Philadelphia Eagles with the return of Alex Smith. I think it's going to be a very close game. I'm not confident whatsoever, but I'm very hopeful that Alex can get the job done, that Antonio Gibson balls out, and McLaurin balls out, and that front four and the secondary just eats alive Jalen Hurts and the Eagles wide receivers. So my fingers are crossed for Washington tomorrow night. Yes, we're going to be out against the Bucs in the first week, but alas, got to root for your team. And we're just going to, that's all I have for the NFL right now. We're going to go over the college football games yesterday. Alabama absolutely creamed Notre Dame yesterday in the Rose Bowl. Listen, I don't see how Notre Dame made it in. They had I think it should have been A&M. A&M had an early season loss against Alabama, and Notre Dame just had a humongous loss to Clemson. That was embarrassing, to be quite honest with you. So I don't say Notre Dame got in, but they got it handed to them by Alabama. Devontae Smith tied the single-season SEC receiving touchdowns record with 20. And Alabama's a fantastic team. Naheem Harris is an absolute monster, and Mac Jones is a fantastic quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So I've got to give all my respect to them. They're a great team, and I like them going into the matchup against Ohio State, who played phenomenally. Justin Fields absolutely ate alive Trevor Lawrence. Do I think he's better than Trevor Lawrence? I'm not going to go that far. No, I'm not going to go that far. Do I think he's a really good player? Yes, I do think he's a very good player. And I was very uneasy about his arm strength and deep ball accuracy until I watched that game yesterday, where he threw dime after dime after dime effortlessly. I mean, just quick release, didn't even have to step into it that much. I mean, it was a thing of beauty performed by Justin Fields in the Ohio State offense. I mean, Trey Sermon also had a fantastic game running the football. And I thought that game was, though it was a blowout, was very entertaining for me to watch personally. Just because I was so surprised to see, I hate Ohio State, but they had a very mesmerizing offensive attack, and Dabo now looks extremely foolish, ranking them number 11th in the country. I mean, we all saw his post-game response, and he wouldn't change it, but I mean, what does that make Clemson? What does that make Clemson? So I'm excited for the national championship game. We'll get into that when that comes closer. Right now, though, if I were to choose a team, I would choose Alabama to win the national championship game. I would hope for a great game, but I just don't see Ohio State beating an SEC team like Bama, an absolute powerhouse. So, and then the NBA is back. The Suns have the best record in the NBA at 5-1. Chris Paul and Devin Booker are absolutely balling out. The Wizards are struggling with one of the best point guards in the league. I personally think they need to fire Scott Brooks. I mean, he has all this talent at the guard position, and he's 1-5. I mean, that's unacceptable. I mean, he's played the Bulls twice, for crying out loud. And I do think they should have at least 2 to 3 wins. They should not be 1-5. They should be 3-3 minimum, in my opinion, considering their strength of schedule. I mean, they've played the Bulls twice and they lost twice to the Bulls. That's just unacceptable to me. The Mavericks are struggling, the Clippers are struggling, the Lakers have gotten off to a bit of a slow start. So the NBA is fresh in swing. I will give my NBA predictions probably in the next video or next two. I did not get into that before the season did tip off, but I will eventually give my late season predictions for that. So that's all I have for you today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider liking and subscribing. It does help the channel out. Enjoy the Week 17 games, and hail to the football team. And I'm out. Peace.